AirDrop alternatives, webcam hacking, and AI self-preservation. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by the new MacVoices Discord, available to all of our MacVoices patrons. Sign up and join in the conversation in your new favorite online group at patreon.com/MacVoices. Throwing this next one in, iOS 26 to let third-party apps build their own AirDrop alternative. I don't know how I feel about this because I have some security concerns, but I really don't feel like I can say this is a terrible thing until we see somebody build an AirDrop alternative and see what options are built into it. But I thought it was interesting that, and again, this feels like, Apple maybe deciding not to fight this battle, and especially in the EU, and just say, okay, fine. So I don't know. I mean, I use AirDrop on a regular basis. It probably works about, I'm going to say 95% of the time. Once in a while, there's that troublesome lack of connection, but I feel like it's gotten a lot better over the past few years. Anybody? Anybody? Any other heavy AirDrop users here?
I use it a fair amount.
Yeah. Okay. Any complaints?
No, it works for the most part. I mean, a lot of times what I do is send, like I'm looking at articles on my iPhone and I want to send it over to my Mac. That tends to move over pretty quickly. I'm sure all of us have done that. And it hasn't been much of a problem for me anyway.
Okay.
I use AirDrop to do the statement for my Apple credit card to throw into my personal finance software. That's really, and when I'm transferring stuff to my wife, photos, family photos, things like that when we're sitting right next to each other. But that's about it. Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, I'd say the last line of the article really says a lot about it. It seems like it's more like as a preventative measure to getting a hand slap by the European Union. It says this API allows or lets Apple check that box without actually cracking open AirDrop itself. So
stay tuned.
Yeah.
It's probably something we'll be discussing in the future. This one's just for fun, and I don't want to start a big. In fact, this is not intended at all to have any commentary about the conflict in the Middle East. But Wired published a report, and I'd heard this a couple places, other places as well. Security news this week: Israel says Iran is hacking security cameras for spying, and that includes some home security cameras as well. So take that as, just information. Again, we talk about if you're putting cameras in your home, you don't know who might be trying to get into them. Now it looks like this is something that is being done in conjunction with the war and in conjunction with targeting certain areas. So maybe that should have been a PSA. I'm not sure, but it's definitely interesting. This one from Axios. This is just fun with Axios. This is an article from Axios, and it's arguing with me to throw it in, but I think we touched on one of these before. But this one I absolutely love, that some of the AI models in a testing environment, and that's highly stressed here, in a testing environment, would lie, cheat, or worse, to protect themselves. There is one example in here of that allegedly even one AI, again, during one of these tests, that they were willing to cut off the oxygen supply of a worker in a server room if that employee was an obstacle and the system was at risk of being shut down.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I was waiting
sorry,
for somebody to
Dave.
say it. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Yeah. So, and there's a yes, but Anthropic stresses these examples occurred not in the real world AI use, but in controlled simulations.
I wonder how many people under 50 would get my reference there.
Oh, I did.
You ask that question to S Lady all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is fascinating. I mean, write your own science fiction horror story, because there've been, a million of these out there. But I have to wonder what books it's been reading.
Yeah.
And where it learned. So we're back toward
I'm cozying up to our new overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get close now so you don't piss them off later.
Might be too late, Webb.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap, Brian says, be sure to say thank you after each AI response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I say please too. I was raised that way.
And there was a big kerfuffle a couple weeks ago about, whether that was just wasting computing power for it to process please and thank you.
Yep.
So I've tried to, I was doing it. I'm trying to train myself not to. And I can't say that I've noticed any difference in the results, but maybe.
Yeah, but your soul is better for doing it. That's what's important.
Maybe so. Or maybe it's just keeping track behind my back and just waiting for me to get into a situation where I can shut off the oxygen.
Yeah, but cats do that too,
Okay. Anybody, who are cat owners here?
Ben's not here.
Oh,
Terribly
Yeah.
allergic.
okay. Jim and Eric gave a hand signal that I don't recognize. I don't know what that means.
Don't have any cats at the moment, but I have for most of my life.
Okay.
Nobody really owns a cat.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Cat owners is doing a lot of work in that statement.
Yeah. Oh, a guy in the chat room says he has 2 cats. Yes, we know.
Yes, we know.
We know they've made frequent appearances on MacVoices Live. Last one of the evening, I can't help it. Meta and Oakley announced new performance AI smart glasses for athletes.
Only $500. I know. It's speechless.
Well, Dave, it's funny that the price one minute the price seems like a lot, the next minute it doesn't. But I'm still going back to the same old thing. What exactly can you do with this? Except it does look like it maybe will take better video or photos.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I know that they say that you're going to be able to ask the Meta AI questions, but okay. I can ask my AI of choice on my iPhone, whether it's the S lady, the A lady, or somebody else's lady. I can ask it. So until it becomes a lot better or a lot better integrated, and this, I mean, if I'm understanding it too, this has speakers on it. So does that mean that if I ask the Meta AI a question, it's going to give me the answer verbally so that you can hear it beside me, standing beside me or near me?
There is very little difference between these and the current Meta Ray-Bans that are out, other than style, form. It looks like the transition options are a little bit better in the Oakleys than they are currently with the Meta. As you mentioned, it's higher resolution video. There's also, I think, better audio built within them, but it's the same sort of thing with a Vision Pro headset. The audio is coming out, but it's directed to your ears, so really people around you can't hear the audio that's going on. But I'm trying to find a compelling reason, and I'm saying this not because I will, but I'm trying to find a compelling reason to buy a pair of these things, and there just isn't one. Do I need better resolution on video that I don't shoot through my glasses? Do I need longer battery life for glasses that I don't wear that all day long anyways? They're really selling it on the website as being like, this is for athletes. When I'm about ready to take a tee, I can ask Meta what the wind speed is. Well, you can ask that now. It's not like it's anything new. And to the degree that you get accurate answers back from Meta, well, it's better than the S Lady. Let's put it that way. And it's about on par with what you get with the Google versions of glasses too. I can't find it, and I know this shocks most of you. I cannot find a compelling reason to buy another pair of glasses I'm not going to wear.
The one thing I wondered is, does the Oakley name carry enough weight to cause someone to buy it if they didn't want Ray-Bans? Because that in the article it says that I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. The same fashion conglomerate owns Ray-Bans that owns Oakley.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep.
So is the Oakley name something that, I would never wear Ray-Bans, but I'll buy a set of Oakleys? I'm not.
It's a different style.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a different style of frame. Ray-Ban, the Wayfarers have a certain style, and Oakley has its own sort of beach surf kind of wraparound style.
And they're
the Metas don't
lightweight.
have.
That's the
Yeah.
big deal about Oakleys, is they're lightweight.
Mm.
I've had both. I like them both. So
Okay. Brian?
Yeah, I think you hit on most of the aspects I was going to bring up. It's the same parent company and, just a different style. So from a marketing perspective, you're just opening it up to more people. You may have thought maybe you're on the border of enjoying the technology. So you're like, if they weren't Ray-Ban, maybe I would get them. And if you're a fan of Oakley, and maybe that just pushed you over the edge to pick them up. So
I don't know. It just seems like an awful small set of functions for $4.99.
yeah,
agreed.
yeah, I agree.
I'm a little surprised, Marty, that you're not going to buy them.
He will.
Yeah, I think no, I'm not going to buy them. And I can hear David starting to laugh right away. But I think this is like, let's dump the lower priced glasses on before Apple comes up with an upgrade or another version or a Vision Pro Air that has much more functionality than what you're seeing in these glasses or ever will. So,
Lamp 1995 or Wayne in the chat room says, I have the Meta Ray-Bans. I agree with Marty. I find no compelling reason to purchase the Oakley version.
I know I liked Lamp.
So Lamp, do you use them frequently? And if you do, what for? Is it primarily the video, or is there something else that we are missing because we're Apple people and we kind of look sideways at Facebook or Meta? Sorry. And when he responds, I will throw it back in. Guys, that's everything I wanted to cover tonight. We got through a lot. I would like to think that we gave folks some things to think about.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there are a few places we think are black or white. There are others that are just flat out gray, and we're going to have to see where it lands. if you don't mind, if you do mind saying, don't. But I don't mind saying that right now my primary experimentation has been with ChatGPT, and that's where I've landed up paying for one of their plans, and I'm using it frequently, and I find it useful, definitely useful. I don't take much of anything straight out of it and use it. I always modify it to some degree because I want it to be more me than ChatGPT. But I find that to be a good one. Dave, what would you? I know you're playing a lot with Copilot at work. Do you consider yourself more of a Copilot user or more of a ChatGPT or any of the others?
ChatGPT. So, hey, it helps me on the show. It helps me with my podcast. It's helping me with MacStock. I mean, I'm not copying things like you said, word for word. I'm getting suggestions, understanding what the content I want to put in place. I mean, I just did a session at work about the Microsoft Loop, and I did use ChatGPT as well as Copilot to compare to see, what the differences are. I can't use ChatGPT at work because they block it, but I use it on my personal computer, and yeah, I got a nice good comparison to what Copilot's doing versus what ChatGPT does. So I'm all in with ChatGPT. I pay for it every month, and like I said, I was asking questions. I'll admit it. I got some of the data where I talked about tonight from ChatGPT just to help along the show. So,
Oh yeah. Webb, anything do you have a primary AI that you're playing with?
We use Pilot at work, like David said. We block ChatGPT and just about any other LLM from the business side. So I can't admit what I do or don't use at home. So
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Jeez. Top
Eric?
secret.
Huh? I don't
Wake
know.
up, Eric.
ChatGPT didn't give me an answer for that. I don't know. I'm still waiting. My network's not fast today. At the moment, I'm trying to avoid using any of them. However, things like searching through images, I use that all the time. So I can't say I'm not using AI or models or whatever, because I am, just not the big ones.
Okay, that's fair.
And that will change as soon as they start rolling out models that don't suck down as much energy.
Okay. Marty, I know you've bounced back and forth.
Yeah, I am pretty much all in on ChatGPT. I have purchased and have access to the full versions of the other models because that's what I should be looking at. I need to do some cross testing between them to see if I can do the same thing that I do with ChatGPT with the same prompts, using it on other things like, Perplexity and other versions, Copilot. But I haven't done that yet. And pretty much I've figured out my pattern for communicating with ChatGPT, and it gives me the results I have. Unlike Chuck and Dave, who are very careful to make sure that their identity is maintained in whatever they put and whatever information they use, I'm much more fluid with my identity. So, that email response doesn't have to sound like me, because who is me anyways? It just needs to do the job. So
I think we just got into a philosophy class. Who is me? Jim?
Well, as you know, I'm not really using any LLMs at the moment. I probably will be in the near future, but not so far.
Okay. Brian, wrap us up.
Yeah, professionally at work, we don't use any LLMs, but yeah, personally, I do use ChatGPT more often.
Okay. So it sounds like ChatGPT, at least for this group, is still in the lead It's not a complete win, but it's in the lead. And Lamp did get back to us in the chat room regarding the Ray-Bans. He says, I use mine daily. They are perfect for making phone calls as well as listening to music. Okay, there you go.
Good.
So if you want to spend the money, and at least we know there are two things that they're really good at. I think I'll keep mine in the bank. Let's go around the room, let folks know where they can connect with you when you're not here, because I'm sure there are people that would like to comment on the things that you've commented on. So let's just keep the same order. Dave, thank you for being here. Where can folks find you?
Thank you, as always, for having me here. You can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com. You can find me on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/In Touch with iOS. I'm on the Vision Profiles podcast every Monday night talking about Vision Pro. I'm so excited to be part of that with Eric and Marty and the crew. I'm also on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network on Fridays, usually, and happy to be here on Tuesday nights. And social media, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Dave G65. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, David. Good to have you as always.
Yeah.
Well, Bixby, since you won't admit to anything else, where will you admit to being able to be contacted?
Okay. You can find me at Blue Sky. That's the one that I kind of concentrate on just because I like the name. I'm on all the socials with mainly the same handle on all of them. That's Web Bixby, WEB, BIXBY, one word. You can find me just about anywhere.
Thank you, Webb. Appreciate it, as always. Eric Bolden, you and your butterfly. I hope that your network is fast enough for you to tell us where folks can find you.
Yes, I can be found with the butterflies on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to. Otherwise, Vision OS on Monday nights, and I guess every once in a while little blurbs, but Marty will explain that throughout the week. And then Tuesdays here, just to kind of set off my week with Mac OS stuff, and then finishing out the week on Thursdays with iOS and iPad OS and Vision OS and other commentary.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric. We really appreciate the fact that you try to hit all of the OSs throughout the week.
We do.
Keep yourself balanced out. It's impressive. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. Eric just delegated the job to you of explaining the little blurbs throughout the week. I'm not sure I understand the reference, but
Eric, using all the power of his 1938 Encyclopedia Britannicas for research. You can catch me, Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social or Jencius, Jencius, at Blue Sky. Vision Profiles on Monday night. We do a full show on Monday night with Dave, Eric, Daniel joins us. We might have some other folks dropping in the near future, so it's turned into a nice thing. But in between shows, I'm doing 5-minute, 10-minute drops on Monday morning, Wednesday morning, and Friday morning called Vision Pro Notes. And it's just one article, maybe one topic that's come out this week that will highlight for the next Monday show. So tonight, I'm going to drop in a little bit about what we've since found out about Vision OS Beta 2, Developer Beta 2, and what it can do and what it can't do. And I will neither confirm or deny that I use ChatGPT to help me out with that decision. So the rest of the stuff, just look at thepodtalk.net. You'll find the other shows I'm involved in. Tuesdays here, Thursdays with Dave on MacVoices, on In Touch with iOS, and then occasionally Friday mornings.
Right. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. Jim Ray, if you ever leave Cupertino, where can folks connect with you?
San Jose. I'll just be following Mark Fuccio around. But while I'm doing that, I will be closely monitoring Mastodon at ProView Jim, PROVUE, JIM at techhub.social.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Appreciate your perspective too on things. Brian Flanigan-Arthurs, thank you for being here. I don't have some smart, what way to introduce you, so I'm just going to say, where can folks find you?
All right. When I'm not late to the show, it's best to find me here most Tuesday evenings. You can also reach out to me on my website, brian8944.com. I also invite you to check out my new podcast, On the Desk of Brian. Episode 4 releases later this week. And actually, this coming Saturday, I'll be a guest for Mac Guys Only. So I invite you to check that out.
Nice.
Great. Glad you said that.
That's Saturday? I thought they were recorded on Friday.
I guess they moved it to Saturdays. Yeah, a few episodes ago.
They want to accommodate Brian's busy schedule. He's a busy man. Busy man. This is Mac Voices Live, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Join us in the chat room at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. We will be back with even more next week. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.